I was raised in a Christian home with godly and nurturing parents. But this didn't prevent me from being exposed to pornography at 7 years old. This happened while I was alone with a relative po when he decided to watch an R-rated film sa living room po namin. Being young and innocent, nakinood po ako, but something about the film made me feel embarrassed yet excited and curious to keep going. Kaso po, simula pa lang po to. The mix of guilt and pleasure in watching adult films led me to keep this as my most kept secret from my family and friends for many years. Nung 14 years old po ako, I surrendered my life to Jesus Christ at a high school evangelistic retreat as I finally understood what Jesus did on the cross to pay for my sins. I also surrendered my lust to Him, pero akala ko lang din yun. Yun pala, all the passion I had in the retreat was only a spiritual high. When I came back home, the temptations returned as well. Slowly but surely, I returned to my old ways and I was struggling with lust again. It greatly affected my purity and my relationships with women as well. Yung mga kaibigan kong babae, tinry kong gawing kaibigan. I did my best to serve God despite of my secrets. I served in ministries, led my own D group, and even became one of the student leaders during my high school years. Hindi ko sinabi sa parents ko or sa D group leader ko yung mga inner battles ko because of embarrassment and fear. Questions like how would they react and what would they do kept me from admitting that I was still struggling with sin. So yung life ko, it became a cycle of sinning, repenting, then sinning again. Though I would ask God for forgiveness, I was too ashamed to keep going back to God for the same sins over and over again. But by God's grace, He began to work in my life, and He allowed me to keep my purity by having stronger and God-honoring convictions. Nag-keep po ako ng personal online curfew for myself to avoid unnecessarily sinful thoughts, and as much as possible, I don't go out alone with any girl unless family ko po sila. I also decided to pursue becoming God's best before I could find God's best for myself. I kept myself regularly accountable to a select group of people and avoided hanging out with the wrong crowd. Most of all, I kept my top priority to pursue a deeper love and intimacy with God. Bale po, tumigil na din po ako lumande. God helped me overcome my battle with lust. One night, I asked the Lord to deliver me from this bondage of mine. A few weeks later, sinagot din ako ni God. In a spiritual turn of events, I woke up one Sunday morning unable to breathe and with heavy chest pain. Sa sobrang bigat, I knelt down and I cried out to God. I realized by God's grace, that was the moment He set me free from that bondage. I began to feel lighter and I knew God had won the battle. The effects were almost immediate. By God's grace, I no longer find myself gazing at women for lustful reasons, nor do I want to view porn anymore. But I also know that I need to guard myself from temptations. So, tumigil na din po ako manood at makinig sa mga content po that could lead me to sexual temptation. And when I get tempted to do it again, God would simply change my mind to get busy. Truly, God is the victorious deliverer. Today, I'm amazed at how God has worked in my life kasi sa totoo lang, hindi ko naman to deserve eh. I sinned against God and I hid it especially from the people that I love. But now, He's using this story for His glory. Pag-pray niyo po ako, for though I claim God's victory in my life, this life will always be full of temptations. Pray niyo din po that I remain a faithful witness, a faithful discipler, and that I remain close to the Lord, and most especially that I stay accountable to my family, friends, and my mentors, who showed that true love is pure and selfless, be all honor and glory forever.